blessed to win, and 2 days after the game, we're at a restaurant, Valley Food Restaurant in Gainesville, Florida, and me, my mom, my dad, and my aunt with Coach Meyer, and Coach Meyer gets a call. He's like, all right, bye. Just very intense, like Coach always is. It's like, Coach, what was that? He said, that was Steve McLean, our PR guy. He said, did you know that during the game, 94 million people Googled John 3:16? And my first thought I just had to say, I was like, how the heck do 94 million people not know John 3:16? But it was so cool to me and humbling that, sometimes in life when we just have a little courage or a little boldness, like I didn't know that day when I was putting Philippians 4:13 in my eyes before Tennessee that it would ever have an effect. It just had a little courage to say, you know what, I just want to be a little different. I just want to show the guys that this means more to me than playing this game. And, it could be just caring about a neighbor or hugging on a friend or asking someone to go to church with them or just caring about someone. You never know what God can use in your life that we think is so little, but God can turn it into something that's so big. And so that game just happened to be January 8th, 2008. Well, January 8th, 3 years later, 2011, we just happened to be playing the Pittsburgh Steelers in the playoffs. I didn't even know it was the same day 3 years later. I wasn't thinking about it. The only thing I was thinking about was, let's just win a playoff game, please. And so I didn't even think about John 3:16, and we go out there and we play and we win in overtime and we're so excited, and I got to go do this silly press conference. I can't wait to finish those, and so I'm getting ready to go in the press conference, and Patrick, our PR guy, stops me right before I go in, and he's like, Patrick, please get out of my way. I want to get this done so I can go hang out with my family. And then he's like, no, Timmy, did you realize what happened? But Patrick, what are you talking about? He said, Timmy, during that game, you threw for 316 yards. Your yards per rush were 3.16. And your yards per completion were 31.6. The time of possession was 31.6. The peak ratings of the night were 31.6. And during that game, 90 million people Googled John 3:16. And for me, I just looked at him and thought, wow, what a God that we serve. When we don't even realize what God is doing on our behalf, God is making a difference in people's lives. And I thought, wow. We used something that was so small to put something silly under our eyes. And God says, you know what I can do with that? Let me show you how big I am. And sometimes in our life, guys, when we just step out, show a little courage, a little boldness, and we're not afraid to be a little different. We're not afraid just to do something slightly different. God can use that in our lives. But we have to have a little bit of courage, a little bit of boldness to say we're willing to stand out. We're willing to be different. We're willing to stand alone. And when we do that, God can do things in our lives that we couldn't possibly imagine.
Have you ever thought about preaching?